I have opened up a new document and I want to show you how I was able to create textures and patterns in a chart. So I'm going to go to Insert and I'm going to insert a chart, and let's do that pie chart, and I'm selecting it. Okay, give it a minute. All right, I'm not going to really make changes to the information. I want to show you we are in chart design, and if you drop down, they give you different style choices, and you can choose where it has the words next to, and that's what I did, next to the chart. And you can, if you select on them, all of them will highlight if you click on one of those descriptor words, and you can change it in your home tab under fonts so that they're all black, so that you have a good contrast, and you can also change it to an Arial font, and you can increase the size on that if you want. And for the sales, you can do the same. Change the font, and I don't want it to be all caps, and I want to make sure that it is black. Okay, so now I want to go in and I want to change each of those pie pieces so that it's not dependent on color. So I'm clicking on each piece, and then I right click, and it comes up with the fill option. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to select texture, and you have the picture options here, but I don't want a picture option. I want to go to more textures, and the side panel comes up with the format data point, and I can select, I want pattern fill, and I had done in the previous slide colors. If you're using a PowerPoint, you might want to still have colors, but if you are planning on printing it out, it's going to print out better if you just use black and white. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's choose which one we want for our large first quarter, and I chose the vertical stripes in dark, and you can change the background color as well. You can change the foreground, the background, make it stand out. Just make sure that it's going to copy well and you're going to be able to see those lines. So you might want to leave it as white to make sure it stands out. And I have it at black. Okay, and so then you go to your second quarter. For each pie piece, I left click, and then I come over and I come to pattern, and I select what I want the pattern to look like. I want something that looks different. So that I chose the small checkerboard, I chose the large checkerboard. So now for the third quarter, I'm going to select something different. I go back over to the pattern fill, and I think, well, what have I not used that's going to look different? Should we see what confetti looks like? Oh, that's really busy. Small confetti. Well, that looks different, so we might want to keep it as small confetti. And then I go to the fourth quarter. I click on it, and whoops, not the color. I don't want to change that. I want to go to pattern. And I just want something that is definitely going to stand out. Maybe just plain, having those horizontal stripes stands out. And you just want all those different elements to be visible and be able to tell them apart without having the color. Again, you can still add your color in if you want, especially like I said, if you're doing a presentation, you want to have color on there. Oops, not to apply to the whole thing, undo, but to each section. So you have to click on each one, and then you can just make those changes. And just make sure you have good contrast. I'm going to undo that. And that is how you add textures and patterns to a chart.